These are the best commands for Oblivion Remastered and how to use them and exactly what they do. And as you can see in the top left, I'm over encumbered. So to fix my carry weight problem, I'm going to enable GodMode, which is TGM. That enables GodMode. It allows us to move around freely, so now we're not restricted by our inventory weight weighing us down. It'll also give us infinite health as well, so we won't die in combat, amongst a few other things. We can also type in player dot. So this is the first prefix for a list of commands which target the player. Instead of basically clicking the middle mouse button and then clicking on the player to target yourself like you would with an NPC, we just type in player dot, so the game knows that we're trying to initiate a command on the player itself and not an NPC. So we could type in a command like player dot force AV space encumbrance, and what this will do is, let's say we type in -9999. That would increase our carry weight significantly. So even if we turned off God mode, we still move freely because we're not obviously restricted by the bounds of our item weight anymore because we put it in the negative. We could also do ADV level. This will increase our level by 1 and will ascend now to level 12. Now you can see I'm a rather low level, even though this is my main save, because I haven't actually been sleeping, so I'm guilty of that. But the great thing about this command is it advances your level instantly without the need to actually rest. The same with player.set level and then the space of the level you want to be. So typing this in would set your level directly to 100, for an example, if that was the value. So I've been in third person, we'll just go in first person mode. Now we're fittingly in someone's basement, which is kind of creepy, I know. And the next one is add item, so it would be player.add item. So this lets you add any item in the game, but you will need the item key code, or I guess the item number code, which you can find on a web page like a wiki, such as the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages. So I could do player.add item F space 1000. What this will do in the top left, it'll add 1000 gold to my inventory. I could press up as well to cycle through our command history, and I could add another 0, and we could add 10,000 gold. So there's a lot of things we can do with this. We could also do player.add item, and then instead of that, we could do 977EF or E4 space 1, and it'll say cure for vampirism added to the player's inventory. So if you have vampirism, now you have the solution. So we could just go on our inventory, and then we could just go to the potion section, and we now have a cure for vampirism. So if you got bitten by that pesky Vincent guy from the Dark Brotherhood, well, there's your solution. Thank me later. We could also just type in this command, which is in purple, which is give violence. This just literally gives you a set of iron weapons. It's kind of like a Minecraft server command when you just have a starter kit. Just adds a whole bunch of iron gear to your inventory. We could also type in PSB. So this is another dev command. PSB, as you can see in the console, outputs 1557. So 1557 spells added to the player character directly. So if we go on tab now and we go directly to magic, you can see my game had a little bit of a stutter because now we have all these dev spells, and also you can see I have all these spells from Midas Magic. And you're probably wondering, how on earth does he have spells from an old mod for the old Oblivion when he's playing Oblivion Remastered? Well, that's for another video. I'll show you how to play old mods on the new game, but that's irrelevant. I just want to show you that my spellbook is now cluttered with magical spells. Another one which I like, player.payFine thief. What does this do? Well, it pays half your fine, and what it does, which is quite nice, is instead of just typing player.payFine, which pays your full bounty, which unfortunately also removes your items in the process if you stole things, player.payFine thief pays half your fine and it keeps your stolen items in your inventory. So if you're being robbing the rich blind, that might be your move to make. Set PC fame 100. What does this do? Well, it sets your fame level to 100. So if you understand fame level, which is sometimes something that stops you from doing certain quests, you might want to set it to 0 because certain guilds won't allow you in if you're obviously a menace. Then that's a useful command to do as well. More fittingly though, instead of fame, it's usually infamy, which is the negative. So when you join certain guilds, infamy will be what's holding you back. So we could set it to any integer. I could set it to 0. That's usually what fixes that. Now I've shown you TGM. That's the classic God mode, but there's actually an interesting command. So this is called a new God mode. So it's OBV God mode, Oblivion God mode. This activates the God mode, but it also maxes every skill and trait. So basically, it unlocks all spells, maxes all your skills and stats, and it also gives you God mode. And it says this message: the secret energies of the human body have not surrendered their mysteries easily to you. You are now a master of restoration and can cast all restoration spells. As you can see, my skills are just buffed like crazy in the top left as well. So I'm a literal deity now, thanks to that command. If you're a sicko, there's a fun command you can use. Fittingly, I have Cinderion here, Cinderion, may I add, who's unfortunate because I'm now going to use the command called kill all. And Cinderion is going to die. Sorry, my friend. Cinderion has died and the future of Nirnroot research has disappeared with him. How unfortunate. We could then go in the console, click Cinderion, and type in resurrect. And now Cinderion is back, and we can do many plant experiments with him. Hello, my friend. And then I could also type in kill to individually kill one NPC that's selected. So we do need to select the NPC again first. In this case, Cinderion. Type in kill, and he'll die. And yet again, no Nirnroot quest for me. Boo-hoo. Manually, we can do player.add spell and then the spell code. So if you want to add a spell manually, you could type in the spell code of that spell. Now, apologies for my horrible uppercase typing there, but you get the idea. So it would be player.add spell, and then it would be the code after it. So you just type in the code of the spell that you find. This is usually, of course, on the wiki. And when you've done that, you can add the spell to your inventory. Now, I've added all spells with those commands from earlier, so it's not really going to do much for me. The exact same is the case when we type in player.remove spell. So when we type in player.remove spell, and then we type in the exact same code as before, that will also alternatively remove that spell from your character too. So pretty useful. A cool command is show spell making. So what this does is it opens that nifty little spell crafting interface, which obviously you can use as a mage. And on the left, we have all of these effects here. So what if I wanted to create my own spell? Well, we can do it manually now, booting it from the console. So I could absorb health, and we can turn up these sliders to a crazy figure. Now, do bear in mind, as usual, you'll have to pay a hefty bounty or sum of gold, if you like, to create these. Now, I'm not rich enough to be in the multi-six figures on Oblivion. I guess I'm not that much of a legendary adventurer. So I'm going to turn these right down, okay? So let's just make a nice spell, and we're going to give it a spell name called Legit that absorbs health on touch, and we'll create the spell. Congratulations, you've created a new spell. So now under magic, somewhere under all, we should be able to scroll down. Here we go, Legit, absorb health on touch. Okay, let's just resurrect our friend over here. And now, where is he? He's wandered off. So I can absorb his health. Oh damn, he's piping up. Okay, we'll have to put him down there. Another thing is, if you want to show the enchantment dialogue, you can also do that with show enchantment. So this is the same as the college, or I guess the Mages Guild system, where you can obviously add an effect to your weapon. So you could use a lesser soul gem, then add something like a basic absorb health, and then we could enter the name here called Lifesteal Sword, any kind of conceptual name, and then we could obviously enchant that. Now having Akaviri Katana should now technically have got its own name called Lifesteal Sword, and it should have its own effect on it. So there's a lot of cool things you can do. Now obviously these are already in game. A cool one which I like to do is, if you want to mess about and change your character, you can do show race menu. What this does is it goes back to the race menu, but at the current point in the game. So from here we can not only change our race, we could change basically to high elf if I wanted to. We could also change the body. We could just grow in age. We could also become like a woman instead. You get the idea. We can basically re-access the character creation screen. Cool stuff. Now I'm just going to press select, overview, continue. I'm just gonna finish with this. I'm gonna become a wood elf now. Obviously I haven't saved this because I don't want to stay as him. I mean, he looks, yeah, moving on. Anyway, you can also do show class menu. So show class menu, same idea, but here we change our class. So obviously my channel is the Blue Crusader, so I am the Crusader class. But what if I wanted to become a warrior or a barbarian or a knight or even an archer? Well, I could do that. I could also become any magic class. I could create a custom class. We can change classes if we decide to change our character in any way. So maybe I want to be a thief or a mage, and I just want to like change my stats and my class and my race without even starting a new save. And you can literally do everything. We could do show birth sign menu, so we can even do it with birth signs. So I could change from the warrior to the thief as well, or the shadow, and these will save your character as if they were organic, so as if the game was asking you it. Another one I like is player.set scale 2. Boom, now I'm a giant. In fact, I'm so tall, my head's basically going through the roof. I'm like one of those Guinness World Record dudes who just is not even built for this world. He's just built different. Also, one that's kind of trippy, slow-mo 0.5. So it's kind of like we're playing one of those old Half-Life mods, like Action Half-Life, or we're in like the Matrix, but in Oblivion, and we can go in slow-mo. This would be particularly cool if you're doing like machinimas or like YouTube clips. So any of you YouTubers might want to use this. In fact, I think we can just go to, yeah, so to go back to normal, you just type in like slow-mo space 1. Slow-mo is just like the prefix for the motion speed. This is kind of a complex command. Player.place at me. So player.place at me is then going to require a base ID. So we'll just type in an example base ID. So we'll do AED40, and then we'll just do 1. But basically, this creates a clone of an object. So it summons a new object. So this could be an item, it could be an NPC, it could be any kind of inanimate or possessive object in the world. You just need the base ID from the wiki. But if you summon special NPCs, it could break your quests and your game, especially if you duplicate NPCs that are reliant on like existing or dying. So this can mess up your game somewhat, so be careful when you use this. Travel commands. So this is going to help people. If I open my map, you can see I have all these markers. You're probably wondering, how does he have the whole map unlocked? The game's only been out like a week or two, maybe less. Well, what I did is I'm dirty cheater. I typed in TMM and I typed in 1, but you can also type in 0 and it usually will hide all your map markers. So now if I reopen the map, oh no, I can't see anything, even the ones that I naturally unlocked. How depressing. If you were a new player and you want to unlock them, type in TMM space 1, press enter, go on your map, and now you can see everything. The perk of this is we can click on anything. Obviously we can't now because we're in an interior, but if you're outside in an exterior location, you can click on any map marker and fast travel to them all to go to your quest quicker. Now another one is TFO or TFOW. So this removes the fog of war. So basically, how to describe this, if you're in an interior and you haven't unlocked like the whole map, you haven't like explored a cave fully, for an example, it will have a fog of war. So that's kind of like a fog effect, a blurring effect, where it kind of blocks you from seeing all the tunnels, places you haven't explored and not visible yet. That will basically fix that. One thing I had a problem with that a lot of people are wondering is no clip or fly mode. Why does it not work? Why does the normal TCL collision command do nothing in Oblivion Remastered? Because there's two commands that you want to use instead. The first one is Ghost. Ghost will basically levitate you, so I can fly out of any cell. So I'm flying around this interior cell, and whenever I want to go back into normal mode, I can just type in walk, and from here I can drop, and now I'm outside of this cell. So I'm literally in the exterior of this cell, and then literally I just press up to go to the previous command, and I can fly back in, and then press up again to go to walk, and I can go back to the ground. So you can manually type them, or you can use that technique of doing up to cycle through your history. That's just a little bit quicker. There's also fly. So fly is a command as well. Fly will fly, but the difference between fly and ghost is you'll see it says you feel much lighter, whereas ghost says you feel ethereal. And also with ghost, you can actually go through walls and objects, so it removes collision, whereas fly doesn't remove collision, it just makes you levitate. That's the difference between those. So if you want to like do a true no clip, you want to use ghost. Fly mode can be useful though, and then obviously the way to reset is the same with ghost. Teleportation. So basic teleportation would be COC. So you'll need the location. So I'm just going to type in COC Anvil Fighters Guild, because that's an example I know off the top of my head. This will directly teleport me to the interior cell that is the Anvil Fighters Guild. Now I know this off the top of my head because I was doing Fighters Guild the other day, and I was just trying to fast travel really easily with the console because I was being lazy. You can find all the teleport IDs, of course, on the wiki as usual. So if you don't know where something is, you can type that in. You can also do player.move2. Basically what this does is it teleports you to an NPC. So yet again, you're going to need the reference ID. So you could type in an example ID, so 00002EE73 for an example. Now what this will do is it will teleport you wherever that NPC example you set was. So in this case, it's teleported me to Ayuri, whoever that is. I just got a random base ID of an example. It will teleport you to that NPC. So if you're struggling to find like a quest giver who you're not actually on that quest yet, then that's going to help you a lot. Which reminds me of a useful command I want to show you in terms of teleportation before I forget. If we click on an active quest, you can see this red marker here that shows that I need to be somewhere. I could type in move to QT. So this will go exactly to the quest marker of the currently selected active quest. So if I don't want to walk, if I don't want to fast travel, maybe I want to go directly to an NPC who's at a location but like at the back of a cave. Sometimes it'll even take you directly to their position, not just the actual location itself. And now I can talk to Velwyn Benerus because I just teleported directly to the quest objective. And obviously you can start off, I don't want to actually talk to him, but that's how useful it is. I can also do the base ID itself. So we start with the base ID of an NPC. We'll do an example, the same one of that woman before, and then it's like flipping the command the other way, and then .move to, and then player. Okay, so now if I press enter, it's going to teleport an NPC to me. So all I will do is, in this case, it'll teleport an NPC to my direction. Now, of course, you need to type this in properly. So in this case, I'm going to paste in the command to teleport her, because you need to do it proper uppercase. Now you can see this version of the command I typed in is in speech marks, so the speech marks with a number in between, and then dot move to player. You can do it like that, or you can do it without the speech marks, but if it doesn't work, include the speech marks. Also, what's really cool is, you see the Adoring Fan here? What if I don't want this guy to keep dying? Because that's a common stressor. Obviously, nobody thinks he's annoying, right? We want him to survive forever. So we can actually set an NPC as essential and make them unkillable. Now, beware when you do this with an annoying NPC like the Annoying Fan, not the Adoring Fan, because no one likes him. We can type in set essential and then 1. Now, you'll see it didn't work when I selected the Adoring Fan, because you don't just select an NPC or an object, you actually have to type in a base ID. So if I just type in this base ID of a random NPC and then just type in 1, what this will do is it'll set the NPC, whoever has that ID, to essential, so basically you can't kill them. Another thing is, if we select an NPC, we can also do start combat, and it will basically fight. You can do NPC dot as a command as well. Sometimes that works. Sometimes you also need the base ID. So I'm actually going to find the ID of the Adoring Fan. So I'm going to type in start combat, and then it's actually the reference ID. So the Adoring Fan is 000 AED41. And then now, the Adoring Fan has gone red. Now, he's not actually attacking someone. He's actually wanting to walk out to start some combat.
What's going on?
Maybe if I attack that woman.
Some kind of...
Yeah, he just wants to go. Oh no, he started something. And now I can't kill the Adoring Fan either. Oh no, I think I can. Oh my god, that was a massacre. Set stage. You can also do set stage and then the ID of a quest. So an example, and then the stage. So this sets the current stage of a quest. So in this case, I just set the stage of this quest, MQ03, sorry, to stage 30 or stage 40. Now it says set stage has been disabled. You do need to actually allow this. So to do that, you can do it in the config, or you can literally just type in alter.cheat.allow.set stage 1. Alter.cheat.allow set stage 1. There we go. It should now. You can also type in true. I think that actually fixes it. Let's now try to set stage. Boom. Quest completed. Find the hair. So we've now completed find the hair. You can also do complete quest. That's also another one too. So complete quest, and then let's say you have a quest ID of a quest we want to complete. So yet again, you would find an ID from the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages or a wiki. But let's just say I typed in complete quest DA Vermina. Boom. Now, that should technically work. It's not working right now, it's not popped up, but you get the idea. It might also only work if you've got an active quest already. Also, just to show you what I was talking about later, let's just resist arrest, and then I'll type in player.payfine, and the guards will literally just leave me alone. Another thing is skip tutorial quests. This skips the tutorial and starts just as you would as you exit the tutorial sewers. So from here, we just select our class, and then we press yes. And it's as if we're starting again, and we get Boris's key in our inventory. So it doesn't matter where we are, if we've just made a new character or if we've already started, this just skips annoying things. Technicals. So alter.graphics options. So some of these commands are useful. You can see they're all coming up as a suggestion. One which I like is HDR and then 1. What does this do? Well, this enables HDR support. Stat levels is another one. So we could type in stat levels. Then you can see the options on screen. So you can see now there's some stuff drawn on the GUI relating to the certain cells and certain settings of the game. I could type that again to disappear. Another thing, some doors may be locked. So this is on hard, so I would have to technically lockpick it. And know me, I would break so many picks and fail it. Well, I could click on it and press unlock. Now, vamos. Wait, that means go. Well, you get the idea. The door is now unlocked. I could then type in lock and it will lock the door. This will usually lock it to its default setting, but I could also type in lock and then the lock level. So now it's easy. If I type in 10, if I type in 100, then it needs a key. If I type in, let's say 90, it's very hard. 80 is just hard. You get the idea. So that number sets the difficulty. Now, if we had a vendor, which we don't right now, I can't really show you a vendor. There's nobody nearby. Wait, actually, he's the vendor. Okay, this is perfect. Let's see how much gold he has. So let's go and barter him. He has 50 gold. So let's select him. And let's type in set barter gold. Let's type in 1,000. Let's go off the conversation with him though first, because it doesn't work for some reason when you're in dialogue. So set barter gold, and let's type in 1,000. And now He has 1,000 gold to spend, so now he's not broke anymore, so we can just keep selling him stuff up until he loses 1,000 gold. You could also click on him and we could type in set crime gold and put 1,000 as well. So let's just make him a criminal. Actor's base box gold is 1,000. Set crime gold 1,000. Actor crime gold modified to 1,000. So now he's technically a criminal. So I don't know if any guards will come in, but he could actually like fight with them. We could also set the level of a target. So I'm going to set him to level 10. So there we go.
Well met.
He's just set to level 10. And then from there we could type in get level. Some of the commands glitch out, so you might have to type them a second time. And get level tells me his level. If you start combat with an NPC, you can select them and also type in stop combat. Stop combat. That'll stop them from fighting. And then also we can set the scale of NPCs just like we did with the player. So now we have a giant Khajiit. Let's see if... Oh.
Guard, someone's been...
Also when you kill them...
You violated the...
Shut up, bro. When you kill them, their like ragdoll will be that giant size as well. It doesn't reset, which is perfect. So it's actually a pretty funny command to do. Oh my god, there's a brawl. They're fighting each other. That's also a side effect when you pay off your crime gold. Sometimes the NPCs just start like killing each other.
This is the part where you fall down and bleed to death.
Now I'm going to go out into Anvil because I want to show you some commands. Now these commands are weather commands. So you can see these pretty Unreal 5 engine graphics. But let's take them for a spin. First one, FW38EE. This puts it on clear mode. I'm just going to show you some weather commands. We're going to cycle through them. FW38EF0. This goes into cloudy mode. We can turn on the fog with 38EEF. This is the beautiful Remaster's new weather system. 370CE, so this is paradise. 38EEC, that basically goes into overcast. And if we want to turn on a thunderstorm, we type in FW38EF1. And that starts the thunderstorm. You can see the weather dynamically changing, and it's going to start raining as well. But the thunderstorm's a little different on Kvatch as well. So 08BBC, that turns on the thunderstorm mode for Kvatch, where it's dark and it has those lightning clouds in the distance. And then we have basic rain. So that would be 38EF2. So that's just a normal rain without too much of the overcast rather. And then 38EED is snowing. So maybe you're playing Oblivion Remastered in, let's say, December, and you want a little bit of snow. That would be how you create a winter wonderland. So there's some cool weather commands. Now I'm going to show you some horse commands. So place at me with this ID will spawn a bay horse. Now I'm going to paste some commands which I've made note of, and if you do want to see them you can just pause the video. So this command spawns a black horse, then we can spawn a chestnut horse over here, a paint horse. Let's spawn two rare horses. So the first one is Shadowmere. So this is the one you get, I believe, at the end of the Dark Brotherhood quest line. I didn't actually get this at the end of the Dark Brotherhood. I'm not sure if you can save Lucy and LeChance and then you get a horse. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I just messed stuff up. And also the elusive unicorn. So these are probably the most legendary steeds in the game, and they look pretty cool. Also the player.setAV command. So you could type in any kind of value here, so strength, endurance, and then the value like 255, and then what that would do is that would set your maximum skill level. So that would set my endurance to 255. And it's the same with ADV skill. So player.ADV skill, blade, armorer, athletics, you get the idea. Any skill on here, and I could type that in and then type in a value like 100, and it says your stained fingers attest to the diligence in mixing potions and learning their secrets. You are now a master of alchemy. You can create potions from a single ingredient and can sustain even more simultaneous potion effects. So I've set my alchemy to 100. Now game difficulty, you can already change that in the option menu, so I don't know why you do this, but -1 is novice, -0.5 that would be apprentice, and remember you want to type in altered dot game difficulty like this, and then 0 would be adept, 0.5 would be expert, and 1 would be master. You can also add achievements, so you can just type in the achievement, and then let's say achievement 1, command at the moment, there we go. Like I say, it's just glitching because I've typed in so many commands, but you can see every time it's just duplicating the last command at least once, which is annoying. But there's a whole list. Basically the number 1 gives you the escape the Imperial Sewers, number 2 is close an Oblivion Gate. It's basically an order of like the list on Steam. Now I'm going to show you some hidden areas. So with the COC command I showed you before, which is teleport, we can actually go to some hidden areas. So COC testing hall, this takes us to the original testing hall or testing rooms from the developer. So this is basically a dev room which you can access in every Elder Scrolls game. So from here we can see like alchemy test warehouse, we can go through this random wooden door which crashes our game. Let's try that one more time. So this is what you see from all those old school screenshots and videos where they go in all those rooms where they can test out all the NPCs, they can test out all the lockpicks and items in the game. Basically, each of these wooden doors, which are aptly just named wooden door for the most part, apart from a few which are actually labeled correctly, they will lead you to a different room. So you have to kind of just go through them as a lucky dip. This takes you to Hawkhaven. This takes you to the creature testing hall where all the NPCs are. Now, I'm kind of scared they'll crash, so you'll have to explore these yourself. They also do have some other fun ones, so Todd Test. This is Todd's testing house. You can visit this outside too. This refers to obviously Todd Howard, who I believe is like the creative director of Bethesda, or he's like the front man for like media and stuff. You see him in all the behind the scenes and documentaries. So basically this is his like little testing house, I guess. And there's a crate named Evidence with nothing in it, so that's pretty interesting. The door just takes you out to the wilderness. Who knows where that leads? Then inside we have a steel warhammer which we can nick. We have a test crate full of like peon clothes. We have the Mythic Dawn commentaries books, which are kind of a cheat code for the main storyline, I guess. Some gold coins. Test Todd letter, which says this should be a short letter. Love, Todd. Well, thank you, Todd. I appreciate that sentiment. The Todd scroll. I'm not going to read this, but I guess it's Todd's like love letter to himself or something, whatever he's into. And then we also have Alban Korinis. So I don't know if he's like from the Shivering Isles or if he's like an actual game NPC. Woman 45. So Todd just like has some random like servants or harlots in his house. I guess he's just like living his like fantasy in Oblivion, which is kind of creepy. And then also we have open space L select level. So you're wondering, what is this command? Well, this is a new command for the remaster. So this looks crazy, right? Why is my character changed? Why am I stuck in third person? Why am I like not actually playing Oblivion anymore? Well, nobody's talked about this, but it says welcome to Altar. To start the paired game, walk to one of the 2 Oblivion doors. To use the debug menu, press LS plus RS or F7 and you will find other open level doors on your left. Let's press F7. So we can press A for debug commands. Now this is confusing, right? Because this is a debug menu. So we can teleport to various locations in the game here. This is actually an Unreal Engine 5 test level. For anyone who doesn't know, basically Oblivion Remastered is the base game in, I guess, is it the creation engine? Whatever the old Oblivion engine is, and then they've like used an Unreal 5 engine wrapper on top of it to create the enhanced visuals and obviously run the new content and models from. But we're actually playing in Unreal right now. So this door takes us directly to the Imperial City Market. I don't know if we walk through this or press E on it. We're not really playing Oblivion anymore. This door takes us to the main menu, so it lets us launch the game from character creation, and this door takes you to the end of the sewers, so this skips the tutorial. So this is literally a test level for developers to kind of access all the content, see if it works and there's no glitches. And the F7 menu, of course, what we mentioned before, was like a little dev menu, and the F keys like bring up random stuff like Static Mesh Actor 1, which is, of course, if you're adept in the Unreal Engine, you'll know that is Unreal Engine. And we can go back here, press F6, it brings up this little crosshair, and we're looking at Orc Female. Kind of looks more like a World of Warcraft model though, to be honest, and we can do various stuff. So this is the final secret level. I'm just going to go through to the Imperial City Market and just see if this actually works, and it crashed my game. Great, you get the idea. Hopefully this video was useful. Make sure to slap the like button on it if it was. I'm going to try and bring out some other useful Oblivion guides real soon, so make sure to like the video, subscribe in case you don't want to miss those, and drop a comment below if there's any commands I missed or if there's any help that you need with any of the steps from this video, and I'll see you real soon.